Earlier, James Stewart arrived at Seattle, Washington's Qwest Field in the hopes of making Supercross history and wrapping up 2 Supercross championships. No matter how much you win, when you make the step up to the pros, you still wonder, am I good enough?
Ever since I kind of got into the motocross and knew what Supercross and motocross was, you know, my ultimate goal was to win an AMA Supercross championship.
If you have been blessed with enough ability, if you have enough grit, the dreams of your childhood start coming true.
As a kid, you know, that's the only thing I ever wanted to win, was one of those. And like I said, to be really close to doing it, I don't know, I'll just be happy.
Kawasaki's James Stewart comes to Seattle looking to cement his superstar status with 2 Supercross championships. For the penultimate round of the 2007 Amped Mobile Supercross Series, the tour has made its way to the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, Washington's Qwest Field. James Stewart getting set to go racing. He is trying to retain the Amped Mobile World Supercross GP title, which he won a year ago for the first time ever, and possibly wrap up his first ever Amped Mobile AMA title at the same time. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside former Supercross Series champion Jeff Emig. And let's show you just how strong of a rider James Stewart is so early on in his career. Just a 3rd season running in the Supercross Series, and already out of 36 races, he has won 22 times. He's only 21 years of age, already winning the World Supercross GP Championship just a year ago. Jeff, how much pressure is on him tonight to not only retain the world title, but to win the AMA title as well?
Well, I think this AMA title, it's the crown jewel of the sport, something that James has never won before. And I spent some time with him earlier over at the Monster Energy Kawasaki team truck, and with the mechanics, team manager, everybody seems to be all business as usual. But you got to think that underneath of that, there's a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of excitement, that they just want everything to go smooth tonight. They don't want to have any mechanicals. They just really want to get this race over with and do the same thing that they've been doing each and every week, and that's going out and being the fastest guy and winning the races.
Well, let's show you how far away he is from wrapping up these 2 championships as we take a look at the point standings brought to you by Toyota Trucks. Here is the World GP point standings. To win this title, James only has to finish 4th or better, no matter what second place rider Chad Reed does here at Qwest Field. Now, as we move on to the AMA point standings, also brought to you by Toyota Trucks, you'll see that here James has a little bit more of a commanding lead, and he only has to finish 9th or better, no matter what Chad Reed does, to wrap up this championship as well. Now, earlier today, our Aaron Bates caught up with James Stewart in a Progressive Direct pre-race report.
James Stewart, your reigning world champion, looking to add another world championship under his belt here at Qwest Field, and also hoping to fulfill his lifelong goal of taking home his very first AMA Supercross title. James, tonight a very big night for you, a lot of pressure on your shoulders. What would it mean to you to leave Seattle with both of those titles under your belt?
It'd mean a lot to me. You know, it's been one of those lifelong goals, and you know, I'm in a chance to do that. You know, I felt like this year I've been running really good, and I put myself in a position to try to win this title. So that's what I'm going to try to go out there and do tonight. Just got to be smart and have fun. That's what we all got to do.
Now, your family has always played a big part in your racing career. What does it mean to have them behind you 100%?
It means a lot. Just, you know, having my mom and my dad. My dad goes to all the races, and having my mom here. She even skipped my brother's weekend of racing. You know, it's the first time my brother's ever went racing by himself, and she came to be with her son. And it means a lot. They always been behind me through thick and thin and ups and downs, so hopefully tonight will be an up for all of us.
Well, guys, the track tonight is rough and it's tough, and he's very excited to take home his very first AMA championship here at Qwest Field.
He's the fastest Supercross rider on the planet. And before he's done racing in Seattle's Qwest field, they might be calling him champ once again. James Stewart racing from Seattle when we come back. CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Amped Mobile AMA Supercross Series, sponsored by the all-new Toyota Tundra, the truck that's changing it all. Amped Mobile, more mobile than you're used to. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. A week ago in Detroit, Michigan, James Stewart picked up his 5th in a row Amped Mobile Supercross Series main event win. Looking to make it 6 in a row here at Qwest Field in Seattle. Our MMI question of the week: who has the most all-time Supercross wins in Seattle? We'll have the answer for our MMI question of the week a little later on in the broadcast. To beat James Stewart, you first have to make it to the main, which can be tricky in itself. 2 heat races made up of 20 riders for 8 laps, with the top 9 advancing straight to the main. The rest of the field goes to the last chance qualifier, which will be made up of 22 riders for 6 laps, and only the top 2 riders in the LCQ make the final 2 spots in the 20-rider, 20-lap main event, which pays points towards both the AMA and World Supercross GP championships. Of course, James Stewart trying to win both of those here in Seattle. There's a good look at the track that's laid out on the floor of Qwest Field. Jeff Emick took a look at the track earlier today.
All right, Supercross fans, let's take a look at the track inside of Qwest Field here, Seattle, Washington. Nice long start straight. Second turn, going to be a lot of problems, pretty tight there. One thing I want you guys to remember is that the soil here is very soft. It's got a lot of moisture in it, and the ruts are going to be extremely deep all the way across the jump faces. One of the toughest sections right here. 13 jumps in a row for the rhythm section, one of the longest that we've ever seen. Let's take the second half of this lap here with Rockstar Suzuki's Michael Byrne. Notice he stays out of them ruts on the left, comes down the right side of the whoops. See how bad them ruts are just on the jump faces. They actually put down a lot of lime on the track to try to dry the soil out, but it's still pretty soft. So if it's not wet and soft, it's loose and soft. You see this final turn, and that is a lap in Seattle.
Thanks, Jeff. Here's our Air Force up close for heat number 1. 20 riders will be in the starting gate. 8-lap race, top 9 going on to the main event. Everybody else to the last chance qualifier. Here's a look at the highlights now from heat number 1. And just like that, Kevin Windham gets the whole shot on that number 14. Oh, contact between Vuillemin and Lewis. And Vuillemin pulls away and takes over third. And it will be his first heat race win of the 2007 season for Kevin Windham. Kevin Windham takes the win, and as he said to me earlier today, he's feeling good, feeling ready to go racing, and he's got a heat win. Can he get a main event win later on? So Kevin Windham picks up his first heat win of 2007, along with Chad Reed and David Vuillemin, and everybody down to Jeff Gibson in 9th. They'll all move on to the main event. Josh Demuth will go to the last chance qualifier for finishing 10th in the heat. Afterwards, here's what Kevin Windham had to say about winning heat number 1.
I feel like I'm a rider that can kind of get out there on the track and overcome some of the obstacles, but lately my speed hadn't quite been there. So the fact that it's a little chewed up tonight doesn't really bother me that much. I just got off to a great start. Just so we know if your Samsung Honda's running great. Has been all year. I just hadn't put it up here enough, and finally tonight it's here. And I got one more big race ahead of me, but I feel like I can be up here all night long.
Just before you
In order for James Stewart to win 2 championships here at Qwest Field, he's first going to have to make it through his heat race. And this racetrack is getting very, very difficult. Here's Aaron Bates with a Progressive Direct pre-race report on the racetrack.
Mother Nature was expected to play a factor here in Seattle, but so far with a little bit of luck on our side, the rain has held off, but doesn't make the track any easier for these riders whatsoever. Take a look at this. Take a look at just how deep these ruts really are. All the way up to my calf muscle, and I've got some pretty long legs. These guys have had to make some modifications to their bike this afternoon, a little bit more of an aggressive tire, and also they've had to stiffen up their suspension because when they try to accelerate up the face of a jump, they don't want to compress and drag their pegs along, which is going to knock them off their bike. It's going to be tough out here tonight, and the ruts are going to get even worse as the night goes on. And the key to this track, the slower you go, the faster it's going to be.
James Stewart on top of the Monster Energy factory Kawasaki number 7. Alongside of him in the glasses is mechanic Jeremy Albrecht, getting ready for another heat race. Here's our up close for heat number 2, brought to you by Thor. It will be an 8-lap race with 20 riders in the starting gate. Top 9 will go straight to the main. Everybody else to that last chance qualifier. Starting grid for heat number 2, brought to you by Thor as well. Some of the toughest competition for James Stewart here might come from Grant Langston on the Yamaha, Davi Millsaps on the factory Honda. We also saw in there Ivan Tedesco on a factory Suzuki.
There's also, you know, there's some battles within the brands here too, with Michael Byrne on the Suzuki, Ivan Tedesco on the Suzuki, both the Honda guys, Short, Millsaps. So should be a pretty good heat race here.
James has won 5 straight main events this season, and he's won 15 heat races. Getting ready to grab another one. Our Rockstar Energy drink onboard camera is mounted on the helmet of Michael Byrne, looking down this very long straight area here in Qwest Field in Seattle. It runs just about the full length of the football field from end zone to end zone, just about 90 yards.
Yep, and we also have our former World Supercross GP champion Heath Voss in this one. And also number 8, Grant Langston on the factory Yamaha back again this week. He always makes for an interesting race.
Stewart doesn't get the whole shot, but he's going to come challenging for the lead right away and takes it away from the man who did get the whole shot, Ivan Tedesco.
Now watch how explosive Stewart is right here. In these heat races, he is so good, and from the drop of the gate, just consistently fast. No warm-up time for him. Notice how deep those ruts are in the bowl turns there. That one before the whoops is nasty.
Past the mechanics area as Jeremy Albrecht cheers his rider on. Flying over the big triple jump. And Stewart just continues to pull away already from Tedesco and the rest of the field.
A big night for James here. So close to wrapping up that AMA Supercross Championship and the World Supercross GP Championship.
Tedesco has his hands full. He's got Andrew Short on the Honda behind him. Short on the number 29, and Jeff, he has really been coming on strong. Hasn't raced a full season. Had some big injuries at the beginning of the year.
Well, he's been injured since last season, actually, and Ivan Tedesco starting off this season in the World Supercross GP in Toronto with a broken hand. So both of these riders have had to race themselves into shape. Here lately, both of them have looked really good. But Short specifically, just week after week, keeps getting a little better. Very strong.
Stay with us. We'll be right back for more Supercross racing from Qwest Field right after this. You're on board with Rockstar Suzuki's Michael Byrne. Making a lap here at Qwest Field.
Seeing just how challenging the racetrack is here. Watch him through here. This is a great line that he's got. He's going to double, and watch right here. He skims right off that one, triples in, bounces over the next one. See him cutting down. Michael Byrne's a rider that likes to stay out of the deep ruts in the... Uh-oh, this is the triple jump. He's had to He's had to roll the triple. That means the riders are down. That's the 29 and the 8.
That's Andrew Short on the 29. There goes Byrne by him on the 26. The 8, of course, Grant Langston. And that'll shake some things up in the potential positions going straight to the main. Remember, top 9 go to the main.
Stewart actually right there taking a new line. I haven't seen that, but he is definitely finding some fast lines. Look how deep those ruts are coming out of the turns, and they're normally the line starts way up high, rolls around the middle to outside. As that rut gets deep, the riders will start a new line and cut a little bit tighter and cut down earlier. By the end of the main event tonight, there'll be 5 lines across there. See James having to sit down over the triple jump. So soft, really trying to compress the suspension, pop up over that triple. The soil here is actually quite a bit looser right now than what it was earlier today in practice. It was a lot stickier, softer, almost like a sponge. Now it's gotten pretty loose on top. It makes tire selection a little bit different, you know, so you have to forecast that. You have to take a look at the track after qualifying practice, take a look and see how the track's changing.
They're on the final lap here in heat number 2. It was amazing walking the track earlier today and rider walk around, which is when the riders actually get to come out and take a look at the racetrack for the first time before they even get on their motorcycles. And it was one of the weirdest feelings ever when it comes to walking on a surface.
Well, that it was. I was just taking a look at the lap time. Stewart with a 50.7. That is the fastest lap in the qualifying heats here.
Checkered flag for James Stewart, and he continues to dominate the sport, winning his 16th heat race of the 2007 season. James Stewart wins heat number 2, but one of the best rides came from Michael Byrne, who finishes 3rd. Took advantage of some of the problems of some other riders to make good on a few passes and gets a straight trip to the main. Davi Millsaps, a frustrating heat. He's going to last chance qualifier. We go to the top step of the victory podium. Here's Aaron Bates.
Well, James Stewart, he figured out the best way to avoid the ruts is just to jump over them. James, you're kind of taking a different line than most other competitors out there. What's going to be the key to success in the main event?
Just being smart, picking good lines. You know, this track's tough. It's Daytona don't got anything on this track tonight, and just come by being consistent and having some good laps. And I feel pretty good tonight. It was a little chilly out there, and we're gonna go back and make a few modifications, tire setups, and be a lot better.
The pressure's on, and he's inching that much closer to his very first AMA Supercross title.
CBS Sports Spectacular will have more high-flying Supercross action October 20th, 1:30 Eastern Time. The Rockstar Energy Drink U.S. Open from the NGM Grand Garden Arena, October 20th, 1:30 Eastern. That's going to be a spectacular weekend in Las Vegas. Of course, we don't know the winner of that race yet, but we do know in our MMI question of the week who has the most all-time Supercross wins here in Seattle. The answer? Ricky Johnson with 7 victories here in the Emerald City for RJ. Another rider who won a ton of races, Showtime, Jeremy Mcgrath. We'll get caught up with the 7-time Supercross champ after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. Ralph Shaheen, Jeff Emig, and Aaron Bates with you, getting ready for the main event. The winner of Circuit City's Navigate to the Front giveaway is Jenny Waskow from York, South Carolina. Jenny has won cool prizes from Garmin, Kicker, and Circuit City's Road Shop. Register to win at www.supercrossonline.com/N2F. Contest ends May 5th at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Of course, all those folks, a big part of the pit party action that takes place each and every week at Supercross events around the country. And it was a beautiful day here at Qwest Field. Folks, to enjoy all the activity in the pit area. Back inside Qwest Field now as the riders warm up, getting set for the main. Who's going to be the winner here tonight? Don't know yet, but as you can see, the all-time winningest Supercross rider is a man they call Showtime. Jeremy Mcgrath, 7 championships and 72 Supercross victories. An incredible stat by an incredible rider, the true king of Supercross. Recently, we got caught up with Showtime, Jeremy Mcgrath.
It is once again Jeremy Mcgrath.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Mcgrath, and this is my garage. As you can see, I have my Hondas, got my 450, and we got the 250 two-stroke. So last year at Phoenix, I finished 4th on the two-stroke, and that was the last hole shot for a two-stroke.
Jeremy Mcgrath has got the hole shot, and he throws down a knack-knack on the opener. You hear the crowd on their feet.
I'm known for the knack-knack, which started some of the freestyle X Games revolution. All right, so what we're looking at now is basically my helmet collection. That's my very first painted helmet in '87. My Motocross the Nations from '93. Got the tribute to Dale Earnhardt Sr. This was Anaheim 2000. I actually won with this helmet. All right, so up in the corner, I have a few of my wins up there from Supercross. This trophy here is dear to my heart. This is my very last Supercross win. This is number 72.
Where to bar we go? The checkers for Jeremy.
Those are my first two 125 West Coast Supercross titles. That was a great year. I won the 250 Supercross title as a rookie. But I'm really proud of '95. I won the Supercross title, but I also won the motocross title. '96 was an unbelievable year. I won 14 out of 15 Supercrosses. '98 was a great year because everyone said that I was washed up at that time. Here's my final championship. You know, I had a phenomenal career, and sometimes it's hard to believe it all happened. But I'm a pretty lucky guy.
Jeremy Mcgrath is the king of Supercross with 72 wins and 7 championships. James Stewart trying to climb that huge mountain, become one of the greatest of all time in Supercross competition. Here's who he's up against. The king and the GOAT, the greatest of all time, they call Ricky Carmichael, and you can see their stats. Already, James Stewart, with just 21 years of age, has made himself a mark here in Supercross competition. Can he win 2 championships? We'll find out when we come back to Seattle. Main event time for the M-Mobile Supercross Series at Qwest Field in Seattle, Washington. Championships on the line for the World Supercross GP Championship and the AMA Championship. Before we decide those, here's Aaron Bates with the Progressive Direct pre-race report.
Ryan Villopoto, the local star here in Washington, has had an illustrious career all the way through his amateurs to the pro ranks. And even though he's contracted to race the lights division one more year to the end of 2008, you can expect that he will be the next Supercross superstar.
Awaiting the arrival of Ryan Villopoto to the big Supercross class. He's certainly going to be somebody to keep an eye on. Here's our Honda main event starting grid. No Villopoto, but a lot of superstars. And of course, the main story here is, can James Stewart wrap up these 2 titles here in Seattle?
Well, there's a lot of lights champions in here. Davi Millsaps, Grant Langston, Tim Ferry,
and James Stewart.
That is the stepping stone.
There's our onboard camera on top of Michael Byrne's number 26 Rockstar Energy Drink Suzuki. He's right alongside the doghouse, right in the center of the starting grid, looking down that long start.
I think it's a pretty good line, but what we've seen tonight is that a lot of the starts, the guy on the inside doesn't necessarily get the hole shot when it comes to the second turn. Somebody on the right has been kind of coming around the outside. Again, the number 40.
And getting the whole shot is Ivan Tedesco, who's down. Tedesco on the number 9. Makita Factory Suzuki had the whole shot. Now he's last and has problems with his handlebars. But out front for at least now is Jeff Gibson on the 40. But here comes James Stewart.
Stewart should make short work of Gibson right there. Just flies by in the whoops.
And does just that.
Doing exactly what he's got to do here at the beginning of the main event. Go for this champion, for these, wrap up these championships here tonight.
So much has been said about James Stewart over the years, beginning with such promise when he was running back in the Lights Championships. Everybody figured he would be a superstar, but Jeff, there were some times where things were a little bit bumpy for James Stewart on the climb up to this level.
Well, there definitely was. He's made some mistakes, but along the way, he has always been fast and always won races. The points championship has eluded him. Tonight could be the night he wraps all that up and creates his own destiny.
Coming after him hard is Davi Millsaps on the number 118 Honda. We talked with Davi earlier today, and he said starts was a big problem for him, and well, he's up to a pretty good one. And Chad Reed, we caught a glimpse of him, the man second in the championship. Tail into the field, he's running in 20th. Let's go back and take a look at a progressive direct whole shot replay.
Well, like I was saying, I was thinking that the outside was going to sweep around. Everybody's bottled up on the inside. And look at Gibson, sneaks by there. Next turn, just grabs a whole shot.
To see this and other whole shots from throughout the season, visit WholeShotHeaven.com.
And watch Tedesco right here, cross ruts, and actually takes Chad Reed with him. That's why we're seeing the number 22 is way back right now.
He's got a long way to go, and he had a very good heat race and showed a lot of promise for this evening.
It's definitely not how Chad Reed wanted to start this main event here tonight when he was holding on to a slim chance for the championship.
Brian Johnson sees Reed go by. Reed had to win to keep any hopes of taking the championship all the way to Las Vegas.
And what that's going to do is he's going to charge through the pack here like he always does. But inside, I'm sure that at this moment he already feels a little bit deflated. Knows that Stewart's out front, and this championship is slipping away.
Davi Millsaps was running in second. He slipped back to fourth. Tim Ferry, James Stewart's teammate, is now running in second. Michael Byrne on the Rockstar Suzuki is up to third. Windham is running in fourth. Here's your onboard camera with Michael Byrne.
And actually see the 14 of Windham just got by Michael Byrne. Took over the third position.
And Windham won his heat race earlier tonight. Told me at the beginning of the day that he really feels good, and this should be a good round for him, and he's proving that.
Well, this is where a lot of the tight racing and bar-to-bar action has been this season, is in this group of riders here. Millsaps was out of that for much of the season early on, but has definitely came back to this series, put in some great rides.
Byrne much slower through this section, Jeff, and look at Windham pulling away.
Now, Windham definitely had the line at the beginning of that rhythm section.
And there goes Millsaps right by him. Boy, that really cost Michael Byrne.
Yeah, he just didn't carry enough speed there at the end. And Millsaps, one of them riders, got that hot line down there, 13 jumps in a row, and somewhere at the end he found some serious speed.
Millsaps' left knee is still not right, and he broke his left femur, and the combination of the two, he says, he doesn't know if it'll ever get 100% again.
And he said that he doesn't even have an ACL at the moment. So it's kind of beyond me to see how these guys ride with these type of injuries. But Supercross riders are some of the toughest athletes in the world, and what they go through and the dedication that they have rivals any other athlete out there.
Oh, and Byrne has had another problem. He's lost a few more positions.
I think he stalled the engine. He made a mistake there in between corners 2 and 3. Stalled the engine, dropped back a few positions.
And now we go back towards Chad Reed, who has moved himself up to 14th, chasing Paul Carpenter. Just under 30 seconds behind Stewart in the fight for the championships.
As he's picking his way through that whoop section, huge ruts through there. Like I said, right now, if I'm Chad Reed, I'm
devastated.
I'm devastated because the chances of staying in this championship are all but gone at this point.
And Tim Ferry on the 15 has just stalled his bike and was running in second place. And Reed continues to march up, but he still can't get around Carpenter, and if he's trying to catch up to the leader, well, you got to get rid of these guys in front of you a lot quicker than this.
Yeah, Carpenter typically is a rider that Reed would have handled, you know, in a couple of turns, but right now Reed does not seem to be making the moves that he needs to.
And look at the battle for second. Kevin Windham on the 14, Davi Millsaps on the 118. Both of these riders having one of the best rides of their season here in Seattle.
And it's interesting, both of these guys are a couple of the taller riders on the, you know, in the series. Oh, and Millsaps goes by.
Davi Millsaps on the 118, moving himself up, puts himself in second place. So this will be a huge boost to the young rider if he can hang on for a second place finish.
Taking a look back at Michael Byrne now, getting back on the gas after stalling it. Was running up as high as third until these guys here came by.
Millsaps' best finish of the year was a fourth at the RCA Dome in Indiana. But James Stewart looking to wrap up 2 championships here in Seattle. We come back. Seven laps to go for number 7, James Stewart. 2 championship crowns awaiting him on top of the victory podium at Qwest Field.
Well, and you know, Stewart has this circle of support and his friends and everybody that is friends and family that are here cheering him on. A member of his family, Malcolm, is not here tonight. I'm sure he's listening in, wishing the best for him.
And as you talk about James Stewart, Jeff, you mentioned earlier how he's had so many ups and downs throughout his career, so much promise, and then so much question along the way from fans and within the industry. In a lot of ways was very unfair. He had a lot of things that he had to work through, some physical ailments that he had no idea, nor did the doctors for a while, as to what was bothering him. He got through all of that, and here he is about to take a huge step in Seattle towards cementing his position in Supercross history books and living up to all the initial hype early on in his career that he really is the fastest man in Supercross and without question the best rider currently.
Well, it has been an interesting journey for James Stewart as we take a look at Windham here. Having a great ride tonight.
Sitting in third, rider out of Mississippi. He told me earlier he's done a lot to change his training and his diet, and it's paying off. Feels the best he's felt in years, and it shows. Winning his heat race here and having a podium quality run already in Seattle.
Well, and having a championship quality run, the number 7 on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, James Stewart, got the 5 to go until he wraps up the AMA Supercross Championship and the World Supercross Grand Prix Championship, something that no rider has ever done in the same season.
Tim Ferry was running in second, had problems, has bounced back. Stewart's teammate on the Monster Energy Factory Kawasaki team. Tim has worked his way back up to 4th.
Well, and Kawasaki has to be so happy with both these riders. We talked with Ferry earlier today. He said in the series, he said, if I get a top 5, I'll be happy with that. He's exceeded that. He's pretty close to locking up 3rd in the championship. He's definitely had one of the best years of his whole career.
And as you can see by the points as they currently run, this championship will be over in 4 more laps.
When you talk about the championship for Stewart, I mean, this is just the beginning of a new legacy of the James Stewart championship era, that I truly believe that this is going to be the first of many, and that Stewart is going to be the guy that's going to go out there and challenge Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy Mcgrath for the race wins and championship wins records that they've set.
There's Andrew Short on the Honda, running in 5th on the number 29. James Stewart was told by the folks at Kawasaki coming into the season he absolutely had to win the championship. The AMA title was the most important to them this year since he'd already won the World Supercross title earlier this year. And he's about to get that done.
Looking at Short here, coming off of that bad injury last year, each and every race he's kept building his confidence, getting a little bit better each and every week. Right now he's running in the 5th. It's going to be a nice top 5 for him. Got to be happy with that. Ending up this season on a positive note when he started the season sitting up at the stands watching.
Chad Reed hoping to keep the championship fight alive till next week's final at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, and it's not going to happen. He's running in 6th right now. A valiant ride, is considering he was all the way back in dead last, 20th position, shortly after the first couple of corners. But he has picked up 14 positions, but he's going to come up short. But he is without a doubt one of the grittiest riders in all of Supercross, and he proved it once again here tonight. James Stewart, 2 laps to go to Supercross history.
Well, and right now we're seeing a culmination of what everybody already knows, is that James Stewart is the champ, that he is the fastest Supercross rider on the planet. And he has had such an incredible season. Started off the World Championship with a lot of controversy up there in Toronto. Came back for the 2nd round with an injured foot. Remember, he wasn't even sure that he was going to race.
That was in Vancouver.
In Vancouver, went to the airport on crutches. His dad, Big James Stewart, said, "We're not going to the races if you're taking those crutches." So he had to leave those at home at the airport. Came through with a 2nd that night. Since then, he's only gotten better. He has really proved to everyone in the Supercross world that he is the fastest man on the planet.
11 main event wins coming into this round, tying Jeremy Mcgrath and Ricky Carmichael as the only riders to win 11 races in a season. This will be victory number 12 for James.
You really see him taking it easy right now. He has been extremely cautious. White flag lap here. Just a few turns to go.
James Stewart celebrating in front of the Qwest field crowd. It has been such a long, tough season for James Stewart. He has won the Amped Mobile World Supercross GP Championship and the Amped Mobile AMA Supercross Series Championship as his father, Big James, celebrates on the sidelines. James Stewart's dream from when he was a little boy is complete. He is the champion, and nobody can take that away from him, Aaron Bates.
Tell you what, his family has been with him 100% throughout his entire career, but Big James, you guys worked so hard for this year. What kind of emotion is going on through your head right now?
I'm so happy. This is one of the dreams that really have came true. It's been a long time and a lot of hard work, and we still got a long way to go, but I'm so super pumped right now. Thank you.
Woo! It's going to be a big celebration here in Seattle as James Stewart, the emotions come out. He's champ. Welcome back to Seattle. This has been all about dreams here in Qwest Field. We talked about at the beginning of the show the dreams of a young man starting out as a little boy. James Stewart dreamed of being named Supercross Series champion, and as you take a look at our Suzuki results, he has done it. He wins here in Seattle and gains enough points to win both of the Supercross championships, something that Kawasaki put the pressure on him at the beginning of the year to do, and he has completed that goal, that mission. He is Supercross Series champion, and when you win those titles, you get #1 plates. Let's head down to the victory podium and the presentation of the highly coveted #1 plates.
On behalf of the FIM, I'd like to present you with this #1 plate. Congratulations. James, you're a true competitor, and you're one heck of a inspiration to our sport. Thank you very much for being part of our show. Congratulations.
James, here's the one you really race for. The AMA #1 plate. It's a hard struggle and time coming, but there you go. #1. I think you ought to feel really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's one more round of Ant Mobile Supercross racing yet to go. Next weekend, Sam Boyd Stadium, Las Vegas. James Stewart's going to show up in Nevada as a champion. As you see in the Toyota Truck point standings, he clinches the World GP Point Championship for the second year in a row. And for the first time in his career, he is a newly crowned AMA champion as well. Here's Aaron Bates with the champ, James Stewart.
James Stewart, freshly crowned champion, both not only the World Championship, but the AMA Championship as well. James, you were calm, cool, and collected all day long, but very emotional at this point. Where does this AMA Championship rank to you, considering you've already got a World one under your belt?
Well, you know, it's been a long season, and to be able to have this, accomplish these things has been a dream in my life. And man, I was trying to stay real calm, but I was nervous all day long, you know, just thinking of all the bad things that can happen. And man, I'm just stoked. I got to give it up to my team, my mom and dad, all the fans here in Seattle. Thank you. And everybody, the FIM, the AMA. It's just, man, it's a dream come true.
Congratulations on a victorious day.
Thank you.
Here's the remaining schedule of Ant Mobile Supercross television broadcasts. You can see the live coverage of next weekend's season finale. Check your local listings for that one. And of course, next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right here on CBS, we'll have our year in review show. Let's go back down to the victory podium with Aaron Bates.
Davi Millsaps and Kevin Windham rounding off the second and third place podium finishes up here. Davi, congratulations to you. A tough battle for you tonight. You've been kind of dealing with a bunch of injuries, especially you tweaked your knee during practice. Did that help you whatsoever out there tonight?
You know, it just gave me more motivation, but, you know, I felt really good tonight, and I felt like I could put it together, and, you know, I'm just I'm thankful Honda's behind me, you know, through the ups and downs, and everyone else, my mom and Carlos and everyone, so thank you.
And a newly motivated Kevin Windham showing up to Seattle. Kevin, tonight's track, a tough one. Would you say it dictated who has been conditioning and who hasn't?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. You saw a lot of guys going down, but the Sobe No Fear Samsung Honda just pulled through for me. It's been doing that all year, and I'm glad to have it up here on the podium. Seattle's been good to me, and this definitely lived up to the expectations. Good to be on the podium.
A dramatic Seattle wrapping up as we head into the final, Las Vegas next weekend.
Let's take a look at our Toyota moving forward replay.
Watch Stewart just cuts to the inside of Gibson, hammers the throttle.
That was our pass for the lead in our Toyota moving forward replay. CBS Sports coverage in the Ant Mobile AMA Supercross Series continues next Sunday with the year in review show at 1 Eastern. Coming up next, CBS Sports coverage of the American Law Series continues with the Lone Star Grand Prix. Then at 3 Eastern, the PGA Tour swings into action with final round coverage of the EDS Byron Nelson Championship. For Jeff Emig and Aaron Bates, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Seattle, where James Stewart is your champion.